Hey, hello again, uh, my colleagues. First of all, I'm glad that everyone seems to be enjoying the feed, and I can tell by the number of views that there are a lot of people watching. If you're enjoying this, that's great. And feel free if you have colleagues that are not Humberview teachers that are interested in this to share it with them. But if you do happen to be a teacher that is not a Humberview teacher, I would appreciate, just for the purpose of knowing how far this is spreading, if you could comment in the doobly-doo down below on YouTube, so that I know who's actually watching. But today we're going to be talking about announcements. I'm going to take you through how you're going to be using that as the base means by which you're going to be communicating your lessons and keeping track of those with the students over the course of the next few weeks while using D2L. So we're just going to switch over to that now. Okay, so we're back at the course page, and if you recall last episode, I encouraged you to just basically empty your desktop of everything except the announcements feature. That's not because all of the other stuff isn't useful. I do strongly encourage people to continue their learning after this week, but it's all not necessary. So I've minimized things so that when you start up your course with your students, that they don't have a lot of clutter, they don't have a lot of places to go, they don't have a lot of confusing things that you don't know how to work. It's just what you need in order to put the information that they need in front of them on a day-by-day basis. So this is the announcements widget right here that they're going to be using. Again, as I pointed out last week, originally I tried using the activity feed feature, which is similar, but again, a trap. Don't use it, because the thing is that when you move on to the next time you do this, if indeed there is a next time, then your things that you put in the activity feed don't import over to the next thing. But if it's in the announcements, it does. So when you're dealing with day-to-day instruction, I actually find announcements is useful because it gives you more to work with, and and it'll import into the next time you do this, so that you can just sort of modify as you go and build on stuff that you've already done. So if you so the thing about announcements is it's a quick and efficient means of just posting day-to-day activities. You can add new announcements regularly just by hitting the new announcements button here, and it'll bring up an editing page, and you just post things as you go when you're going forward. I'm going to edit the example one that I created here, just so that I can use that as the means of going over the kinds of things that you can theoretically do. You'll have a headline on a daily basis. You don't have to put the date in the headline because the date will just be there automatically. So I usually indicate what lesson I'm giving today, usually something so that it's easy for the students to find what it is that the topic is, because they'll be able to scroll down the announcement feed and be able to see all of your lessons on a day-by-day basis and be able to go back. Because the important thing when you're teaching online is that it's not going to be real time. They're going to potentially be looking at this at different times of day than you posted it. So you want it to be easy for them to find over the course of the week. Now, it gives you all of the standard sort of editing features for anything you want to place in announcements. And announcements has the advantage that you can add media and links and things of that nature. So you can do all the standard bolding, italicizing, making bullet points. You can include media that this I created using the simple video note feature that is in this. I'll show it to you in a second. Or you can add images, or you can create links to various things like assignments, discussion forums, and the like, so that you can include all that information. I'll go over that in a second, but that's why I find that running it entirely off of announcements is useful, because pretty much anything that you need to get across to the students, you can put in an announcement and link it out of there, so that the students always have a central place that they can go from to get to the things that they need to do or need to read. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys how to add basic materials to the announcement feed so that you know how you're going to be getting actual information out to the students. So that's these buttons right here. You using these three tools, you can put out some of the basic stuff that you'll be using to give information to the students. I'm going to start by talking about video or media-based content, which is this little play button-y looking symbol here, insert stuff. Using this feature, you can add a number of different things, either files or the things that I primarily use this for is video content. Now, first of all, there is a video note feature in here. This is not for lessons, and in fact, it has a maximum amount of time of 3 minutes, but it's enough to just sort of make things a little bit more personal by just telling people what you're doing today and posting it up onto the site. If you it'll pull up and it'll record you as an image, just sort of saying something. This you can use this as a means of just putting quick little salutations or greetings, or you can use it as a means of direct feedback to give that sort of level of like personal feedback to any of their writing. You can do this on any of the discussion forums or any of the things, and you can just record yourself saying something and then stop recording it and just record yourself saying something and then you hit next and then indicate what that is. Descriptions are optional. And then you post it up in your feed. It'll take a moment to render, but and as you can see, it doesn't it won't show up for a few moments, but it's entered into the stream and they can see it. The other thing that you can do is you can just link it directly to, say, YouTube or the like. Okay, so alternately, you can just go in, call up a YouTube video, and you can embed that directly into your site as well. And that'll give you access to any resources. I actually use that for the purpose of lessons when I'm doing this sort of thing. If I want to do like an actual teaching lesson, so like I'll make a video like I'm doing right now, and then I'll just put it right into my site. Because the problem is that D2L can have a cap on the amount of space that you can use. That's why video notes are limited. So it's better to just put it up on YouTube and then link it to your site so that they can look at that, and that gives you access to all of Google's analytics and whatnot, so you know if they're watching it. And you can also embed things or do other stuff. I'm not going to go over that because it's not stuff that you necessarily need on day one. But alternately, you can put visual materials in. You can do that just by using the little camera thing here and load it up from your computer or from the net, and just throw it right in there. You can just pull up a picture. I'm not going to pull up a picture because I don't want you guys looking at my pictures. But but that you can do that. And then the most important button is the one that gives you access to your actual assignments and the like, and that's the little chain button here that allows you to put all of the things that you will be doing with your class up onto the site. Things like assignments, which I'll get into in the last episode, or putting in like course files, putting up actual documents that you need them to read or look at, or, and I'm going to get into this in the next episode, discussions. You can also link things from Google Drive if you're using Google materials. You can throw up actual websites that you want them to reach or follow, as well as videos and the like that are directly embedded. And that's all the sort of progress of the class. You can just put them all up in your uh, in your feed. Now, if we were doing like a full tutorial, you would probably have stuff in your content that you could actually throw up, and but that's not stuff you need on day one. That's stuff you can learn about once you start looking into the sort of board provided materials that are in the Ontario Educational Resource Bank. But so content is important, but it's not important for our purposes. So I'm not going to give you, I'm not going to go into it at length. But all of that stuff can be potentially linked into the into announcements, and that's how you run your class. You just put everything up into announcements, and make sure that that the kids only have the one place that they can go to for all of the stuff that they need, and and all of it goes up into the feed. And as you can see, you can hide stuff from them on their main page, and run everything through the announcements feature.